Hi, my name's Adam, and this is my YouTube channel, TwoShays. Today I'm going to be attempting to remove the old pinstriping off of my 97 Chevy Blazer and replacing it with some new that I bought online. Let's just see how that goes. So I've got a 97 Chevy Blazer that came factory with pinstripes, like many vehicles did back in the 80s and 90s. Well, those pinstripes have long since seen their heyday. And what I decided to do was, because it's in good shape, I got a good deal on it and it was very low mileage, I figured I'd kind of bring it back to, its original look. So I'm going to attempt, for my very first video on YouTube, is to remove what's left of the old pinstriping and then replace with new. This is going to be a journey that I haven't gone down, and you get to share it with me. So let's go. Here's basically what's left of the pinstriping. That's pretty much a representative of it all the way around the vehicle. Now I'm going to use a product that I purchased online, which is this kind of a rubber wheel eraser that's supposed to remove the pinstriping, but not the paint. I watched a couple videos on that, and it does. And I've attempted it a little bit, and it seems to work. It's not super aggressive, so it'll take some time. But I think that once I get the majority of it off, the application of the new shouldn't be too hard. Fingers crossed. Okay, well, I'm starting to run into a stopping point here, I think. I need to get... It looks like that wheel is affecting the finish. I'm not sure. I washed the vehicle yesterday, and then this area again today. Then after I did this, you can see some of that up in here. I used some wax and grease remover over that, and it's still got that left on it. So not sure what to do just yet. I might have to watch a little more videos on YouTube or something just to find out, to see if it's something I can take care of or not. But I may attempt to just go right over it with what's left of the pinstripe, the original pinstriping that's on it. It's not like I'm entering this thing in the Tri-County Hot Rod and Custom Car Show or anything. I just wanted to redo the stripes because they were starting to look pretty hideous. So as of right now, I've got some thinking to do, and then come back to this and figure it out. There's got to be a way. I'm sure there is. Okay, so here's where we are so far. I used that eraser wheel on a little bit of this, and it looks like it's starting to affect the finish itself. Now, after I went with that wheel, you can start to see there's some, I don't know, it just looks like it's doing something to the paint. And here where the old pinstriping is like cooked in, it removed down to the primer. So I don't know if I can just go over what's here with the new pinstriping and call it good or not. I washed this after I used that wheel, then I used some wax and grease remover over it, and it still didn't remove what's, I'm afraid is maybe taking off some of the finish. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to have to do some studying on this for a minute and see what I can't figure out. I mean, it's not like I'm going to enter this thing in the Tri-County Hot Rod and Custom Car Show or anything like that. I just wanted to cover up the old pinstripes because they were starting to look hideous. So, like I said, I'll have to do some studying on this and see what I can't figure out. Stay tuned. Okay, so what I'm finding out is in areas like this where the pinstriping is more predominant because it was protected by the mirror, I think, it was in the shade a lot more and not exposed to the sun as much. This stuff seems to come off a lot easier and better than this. I think this is just basically cooked into the paint. But let's go ahead and have a go and see how this looks. So it gets hot and it starts to gum up like that. So once it cools down a little bit, I can take that off, which is actually not that hot. Come on. All right, anyway, but as you can see, the place where it was more predominant, it comes off even better. Like I said, I think this stuff is just cooked into the paint, so it maybe have something that I have to deal with. So, keep moving forward. Okay, so what I ran into was where the stripe was more predominant. It seems like that the eraser wheel had gummed up in this area, so I'm going to try to see if I can't take that off. I tried some wax and grease remover and it didn't do it, so we're going to see what this does. Okay, success. Good. I think because I was just hitting this area so much to try to show that where the pinstriping was more predominant, I think I just kind of hit it too long and it got hot. So that made it gum up. No big deal. And just like that. Oh, I think I'm almost to the point where I'll prep it with more wax and grease degreaser. And this is what I'm using, just so you know. Some of the guys use just like isopropyl alcohol, but I had this because I do kind of dabble in pinstriping, just not good enough to where I would do my own vehicle and then drive around town where people could see it. But this is what I'm using. And it came from like a paint and body shop. So I think it's supposed to be about the best. So I think that's going to be the next step, is to hit all the areas that I'm going to do and then apply the tape. And we'll see. Okay, so I'm using the wax and degreaser one last time along what's left of the factory stripe. Like I said, I'm going to go over it. Just go over it. I got, I think that's where we stand now. I got nothing to lose. I can't really get the rest of that residue off of there anyway. So I'm going to prep it one last time and then attempt to pinstripe. Yeah, I got some water dripping out of the mirror bracket here, so I'm going to try to attempt to stop that so it doesn't happen while I'm pulling the vinyl pinstriping. So hopefully I can get it all out of the pivoting hinge deal. Okay, I think I dodged that bullet. Okay, so I'm going to hit it one more time with the degreaser, and then I think when I pull the tape, I'm going to have about 10 or 12 inches extra. I don't know if you can see it on here, but I'm going to try to replicate this end condition that they did here, kind of a fancy little finish on that. And I want enough to be able to, when I separate the two, because the tape has a thin and a thick on it already, and then try to replicate that part. So we're almost there. Okay, so here we go. Brand new razor blade, which is what somebody had said in a video I had watched. They also said when you put this down, do it on the side of the vehicle that's in the shade. Then after you get it all down and on and pressed in place where you want it, turn it around and park it so that that side's in the sun, and the sun kind of does a, I don't know, it just kind of helps it to cure or whatever. So here's the tape. Now because it's fat on one side and thin on the other, I have to start on the front. You can't start in the back both times. You got to start up front on this side so that it all matches. Yeah, and they say to start with a little bit extra. Well, I don't have the big, cool, professional pinstriping roll. I've got the cheapy, under $10 roll off of Amazon, but I'm just hoping that it's all in the prep work and I'll be able to make it work that way. And we're going to find out together. Won't that be fun? No, it won't. But I'm doing it anyway. So here we go. Just get this started. It's not the same thickness as the one that's already on the vehicle, but that's all right. Only you and I will know. Oh, now the trick is to pull it and the backing off as you go and kind of keep an eyeball on it. And the good thing about it, it doesn't necessarily have to be permanent at this point. And you want to look down. So far, so good. I mean, it doesn't look hideous. There is a little bit of a... That's a good thing about this, is you can pull it off and redo. Hopefully as many times as need be. And then I think the door should be a straight shot. And on down to the end point so that everything stays consistent lined up wise, keeping tension on this. Okay. Around the corner. Unfortunate because I've got the old one to use as a guide. And then here to the ending point. Kind of step back and take a look at it real quick and see how it looks. Now if we go down, you can see that I stayed fairly consistent, I think. Man, that really pops. I'll be drawing a lot of attention to myself. Now how does that look? I don't think it looks too bad. Let's stop the camera and take a look. Okay, I'm basically happy with this. So I'm going to press it in. And by keeping it slightly taut when you're applying it, you don't get the buckle in the tape as you press it down. Oops, on the corner there's something. So now, get the trusty razor blade. I remember where I put it, right here on the brassiere. I'll cut this end off. It looks like they just kind of followed the contour of the key or the lock whole dealy there. All right, and I can mess with that later if I need to. Okay, now according to most of the people that I watch on here, instead of wrapping that around, you just cut it about a 1/16 shy of the end of the fender, but not putting so much pressure on the razor blade that you cut into the paint. So that's kind of a delicate little, yeah, hopefully I did that right. And then back here on the back side of the door, do the same thing. And I took off my readers. Now I can't see what I'm doing. That's a little crooked, but I'll deal with that in a minute. So now we can pull off the plastic the top piece of tape and be down to the actual pinstriping itself. Hopefully I haven't forgotten any steps in between. And they say you want to pull it back like this, like at 180 degrees, so that it doesn't have a chance to want to lift it from the surface of the vehicle. And then I'll go ahead and press it down some more. That wasn't straight. That was. Look at that. Come on. You can do it. Maybe. Well, maybe it'll come off. No. Now I can't see. Okay. And then the last run. For this side of the vehicle anyway. All right, I mean, heck, I don't hate that. Covers up the old one, never know. Did you hear that siren? Did somebody call the pinstripe police on me? Well, if they hadn't, they probably should have. Okay, so now what I'm going to try to do, I don't know if you can see that, but at this end condition, this top stripe comes down, goes under, and then comes back and meets up into that. And then I'll cut this kind of at a rounded point on the end so it looks like it was an actual paintbrush and not $6 and some odd roll of tape from Amazon. So, let's see if I can pull this off. All right. I'll bring it back, and this stuff curves pretty good. You just gotta run it along. Yeah. All right. A steeper curve there, and a steeper bend there, and then blend in. That's not hideous. Well, it's going to have to do. So, raise our blade and kind of cut a rounded end condition, finishing point, so that it looks like a pro did it and not a schmo. All right. Okay. Side number one's done. Just going to go back over it, press it down and stuff like that, and then I'm going to turn the vehicle around so this side's exposed to the sun, and then we'll do the other. Okay, so here we are. Here's this finished side. I turned the vehicle around, put it in the sun so the sun can kind of cure it or do what it does, and then into the back, and then here's where we're going to continue on. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. It's got a piece of plastic, protective clear plastic on there that is to protect the paint from the wiper, I'm thinking, and I may just not do anything because that's kind of obscured. I'm not sure yet. I don't know how I would prep this without damaging it. And I just don't want to attempt to pull it off because it looks like it's part of the car now. So I guess I have nothing to lose. If I just wanted to clean that up a little bit, run the tape over it and see what I get. If nothing else, I can always pull it off, but I'm not going to use that eraser wheel because I think that'll just damage the clear. And then here's the other side that's going to be done as soon as it cools down. Just sit in the sun. It's like 60 some degrees today here. A nice almost spring Colorado afternoon. Well, that's the plan. Okay, here's the side that hasn't been done yet. I got the majority of the pinstriping off. Oh, but here's the side that I got done today so far. I'm going to jump down and do the other side. I think it came out pretty cool. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and go over this. And like I said, if I don't like it or if it starts to not work, then I can always remove it. So we'll get this started. Have to start the rear of the car this time because of the way the tape is oriented. All right, let's see if I can just get this laid down like that. Orient this. Come on, work with me. All right. So I hit this again with the degreaser. Oh, I think there. Oops. Since I have the old one to kind of cheat and go by, it isn't making this too difficult. I dropped the roll, so it's on the ground. So I think this is pretty much a straight shot. Okay, got some of that eraser wheel off of there. Not still happy with the finish that thing leaves. Is that a straight shot? We'll find out. Let me get down here. Here and take a look. All right, from down here. I see a hump. I have to pull this. So you can get rid of. Yep, I can see where I tapped it with my fingers. It's not completely. That doesn't look hideous. I think I'm going to live with it. Get it off at the end. And then do the end condition. Alright. Okay, so finished. Here's the finished product. There's a quality control officer giving the vehicle an inspection. So I made it all around, and what I decided to do was just go ahead and go over that clear plastic film. If it doesn't stay, it doesn't stay, but it does look better when it's done that way, I think. So anyway, finished product for today. I'm gonna do the rubber trim and stuff like that. And there was also another piece of pinstriping that went here that I think is going to be part 2 of this video. Excuse my shadow. Oh, I'm pretty happy with the way this went, and I think it looks pretty good. And I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something from some of my goof ups. And like I said, we'll attempt this lower part on the next video, and if you want to see that, then tune in. But anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch this one, and we'll see you on the next one. So long.